Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this fine planet that we all call home together. Today is day 15 of the 21 days of moving towards inner peace. Something just got in my eye. And it was funny, I was thinking about like what I wanted to do today since the rest, and thank you for all the suggestions, so then I get to come up with what's left. And I thought, I'm like dealing with a lot of loss right now. And then I thought this idea, I noticed this difference in me. If the series of events that are happening to me now had happened to me 10 years ago, I would have been an absolute basket case. I would have been asking why questions like, why is this happening to me? Why this? Why, all that. And I would have been so caught up in that, I would have debilitated myself. And there's nothing wrong with going there. The key is we don't want to stay there. So we want to tap through it. And so I thought, dealing with loss. I've been dealing with a lot of loss recently. And it's kind of fascinating. When my sister passed 2 years ago, then I lost my cat on the same day. And now I've had lost my dog, lost a cat, now lost literally my favorite wild horse that was a fixture around this home with his brother and a buddy. And I haven't seen him since it happened. And I thought, and I feel that sort of emptiness and space. And I noticed this morning when I was hiking, I could go down that rabbit hole of why that horse, why that cat, why that dog, why the sweet ones, why, and I was aware of like, wow, that's where, my ego brain wants to go to make this a nightmare. And I thought it's really good to allow ourselves to have those emotions, but that's why the beauty of tapping, we get to go to what I call 0 dark 30. We get to go to the darkest place in us. And I did that this morning. I just tapped, and really my tapping was more on just missing this horse, because this was the sweetest horse. We literally saw this horse born, like right after he was born. And we've spent the last 4 years watching him grow up and then getting kicked out of his herd and then being reconnected with his brother, and then him leading his brother back to our house to come hang out and get treats. And he's just been such a, it's like having a horse with all the benefits and none of the downside. And so I was thinking about that and tapping, and I had a lot of emotion come up around it, and it felt really good. And I thought today I'd love to tap on this idea of letting yourself fall apart. And then I thought, well, let's see what the reading is today. And I think the reading fits perfectly. So I'm going to read the reading from 365 Days to Embracing Forbidden Emotions. And so today, December 6th, the universe had to fall apart into dust first to become its majestic, incredible, infinite self. What makes you think this breaking, this trauma, this destruction won't be making of a more powerful you? Nikita Gill. And when I read that, I'm like, oh my God, that's it. It feels like there's just destruction going on around me, and not even just with animals and other things. And yet I said, like, if this was 10 years ago, I would have, I just think of where I would have been, and it wouldn't have been good. The self-talk would have been horrible. And even though it's tough, this sucks, there's a lot of grief, there's sadness. It's just been, this grief has been compounded along with other things that are happening in life. It's bizarre to me in a way that I'm standing in the presence that I am. And I guarantee you it's because of tapping. Hey, Angela, you probably really love this one. Yeah, yes. It's that in the midst of this destruction, this falling apart, it's giving birth to something new. And I love the Rumi quote. I don't always agree with this. It's something along the lines of, don't mourn what is lost. It will always be replaced by something else. The don't mourn part, no. I'm in a body. I have human emotions. I'm going to mourn. Do I believe something else is going to come in its place? Yeah, and I just noticed today, this we have a fairly huge band of horses that's been showing up. I saw them a few times. I think they're a little scared of me right now because I had to chase them away a couple times so the horse that just got killed and his brother and his buddy could kind of hang out here. But they're around, and they have these two adorable little ones, and the one I've already sort of developed let's call it a relationship with to a degree. So, you know, who knows, and who knows why what happens, but I love that idea that if we allow ourselves to fall apart, then we're making space for amazing goodness. And there's that, the song, I think it's Carly Simon, coming around again. Don't mind if I fall apart, there's more room in a broken heart. Yeah. So let me read the rest of this now. So, oh wow. So this might mean that it's okay when I fall apart, because I have times in my life when I do. As a human on this planet, I do experience breaking, trauma, and destruction. I'm in the midst of it. Angela, I know you're dealing with a lot of that too. The personal development world might tell me I need to try harder and do better. Blah. But what if the breaking apart is the place where the light comes out from within me? What if this is all part of the disconnecting from the world of the ego so that I can reconnect with the truest part of my being? What if anything that I don't like that keeps repeating itself in my life is an opportunity to practice self-acceptance and self-love? What if practicing accepting my broken places, my traumas, my destruction is part of my journey to true self-love? What if this allows me to receive the goodness intended for me? Thought for the day: what if self-acceptance of all that I've been through is the key to my freedom? Absolutely right, Angela. So yeah, I mean, this couldn't be more perfect for really what I was feeling and thinking about today. So, and again, I think it's well-meaning, but a lot of the information that I see that comes out of the personal development world is like, put the stiff upper lip, buck up, put your big girl, big boy pants on, and blah, 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 you know, ad nauseum. And they're unintentionally doing a disservice, because then we just end up feeling like shit about ourselves because we can't just get over it. As if there's an expiration date on grief or trauma or destruction. And again, we don't want to stay stuck in it forever, mired down by it, but we want to go into it. And tapping is such, to me, the perfect tool to allow that truth to have a voice. So let's tap. Even though I have been facing a lot of loss, a lot of grief, a lot of trauma, what feels like destruction happening all around me, I choose to acknowledge this truth right now. Even though I'm dealing with so much grief, destruction, trauma, and it kind of scares me sometimes, I deeply and profoundly accept myself anyway now. Even though I'm dealing with grief, destruction, trauma, and I find myself falling apart at times, what if that's totally okay and actually needed to fall apart? Go to the eyebrow. The culture would tell me, shh, shh, stop crying. Be brave. Be strong. Be resilient. Find the silver lining. Look on the bright side. You know they're in a better place. Yeah, but I'm not feeling any of that. In fact, I'm heartbroken. I'm devastated. Maybe even furious. And I've never been really allowed in the world I live in to really fall apart and have that be okay. So what if this is a new chance for me? A new time to allow myself my grief, my trauma, my inner destruction. And what if this is all happening to evolve my soul, to actually move me forward? And what if this creates a profound change in me that teaches me more empathy, more self-acceptance, more self-care, more self-love? And what if all of this is an opportunity for me to embrace all parts of me, all facets, especially the parts I've learned to judge? And what if through this destruction, this grief, this trauma, this falling apart, I am creating new space for amazing new things to come into my life? And what if, because of what I've been through, I find deeper appreciation, deeper self-love, deeper self-acceptance because of all I've been through and all I'm going through? As I allow myself my fully loaded truth, the unadulterated truth, and tap through it, I change what's possible for me. So take a breath. Yeah, this could not be more fitting for what I was thinking about and tapping on this morning on my hike. I was like, man, there's just so much loss in so many ways I've just been dealing with consistently. And again, to note, if I was going down the rabbit hole that I'm sure I would have 10 to 12 years ago, why is this happening to me? And why is me? Why that one? Why them? They're so sweet. Like, why that horse? Why that cat? Why that dog? Why that person? Why them? We ask the why questions in a way that's debilitating for us. So I want to read this one more time to fit on this. And Angela, great to have you here live. I can see somebody else is here, but can't tell who it is. So the universe had to fall apart into dust first to become its majestic, incredible, infinite self? What makes you think this breaking, this trauma, this destruction won't be the making of a more powerful you too? Nikita Gill. I mean, when I read this morning, I was thinking, like, when I was like, that's what I want to talk about, falling apart. I'm like, holy crap. Thank you, universe, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, wow. So this might mean that it's okay when I fall apart, because I have times in my life when I do. As a human on this planet, I do experience breaking, trauma, and destruction. The personal development world might tell me I need to try harder and do better. But what if the breaking apart is the place where the light comes out from within me? What if this is all part of disconnecting from the world of the ego so I can reconnect with the truest part of my being? What if anything that I don't like that keeps repeating itself in my life is an opportunity to practice self-acceptance and self-love? What if practicing accepting my broken places, my traumas, and my destruction is part of the journey to true self-love? What if this allows me to receive the goodness intended for me? Thought for the day, what if self-acceptance and all that I've been through is the key to my freedom? So, to me, it's counterintuitive to what the culture would tell us, but allowing ourselves to fall apart and having our truth and the beauty, using tapping to help us move through it so we don't stay stuck, mired in it. And again, there's no expiration date on this for us. It's unique to each of us. And if I said this in one other video, if someone is really, really uncomfortable with you falling apart, that's their stuff. And I know this is just intellectual fodder, but it's their stuff. And when we start to wake up and go, that has nothing to do with me. I need to fall apart right now. And if they can't handle that, that's okay. And then you find the people that can be there for you and can handle it. So, Amitsa, great to see you. Angela, great to see you as well. Have a great rest of your day and see you back here tomorrow for day 16. Bye for now.